first landmark I want you to look for the ankle tape job is you're going to find the base of the fifth metatarsal. So you're going to slide your finger up the outside of the foot. You want to come right up till you hit the bony block. That's the base of the fifth metatarsal. I want your anchor on your foot to be right there, just distal to the base of the fifth metatarsal. All right? So I don't want it to be on the fifth metatarsal. I don't want it to be up on the toes. Just distal to the base of the fifth metatarsal. Okay? The other landmark you want to look for is where the shape in the calf changes. So you look over from the top and you can see how there's no shape, so it's thin, 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 and then it kind of starts to come out right around here. So that's where the muscle belly starts. Okay? So it's a little bit of a zone. I'm not too concerned as long as you're within that zone. All right? But it's right in there that you're going to put the first anchor down. Heel and lace pads. So the heel and lace pads go right over the tibialis anterior tendon and right over your Achilles tendon. Right? Front and back. If you're going to use ProWrap for practicing, you'll practice here with some ProWrap. You'll just apply the ProWrap. You want to make sure that you do have some room down at the bottom. So like I haven't gone all the way up to the end of the muscle belly. So you have to still apply a partial strip onto the skin. And this stuff just goes around. It's basically, like I said, it's just there to protect the skin, prevent the hair from getting torn out. First tape strips you're going to apply are your anchors. Okay? So for my anchor, I'm going to start right at that landmark that I found, the calf, start of the calf muscle belly. I went just up onto the skin above the ProWrap so that I do have some tensile strength to the tape. And my angle is teardropped. Alright, so I don't want to just go straight across, it's got to be teardropped. So that teardrop is what keeps the tape from wrinkling. So I don't want the tape to wrinkle. So there's two anchors up top. Then I know where my base is here. So I'm going to do my anchor down on the foot. Anytime you're going around the foot, you have to splay the foot apart. Alright? So usually what I'll do is I'll just rip it, splay the foot, and I just lay the tape down with almost no pressure. Right? Then that way, as soon as she relaxes, you can see the tape is kind of loose, but that's necessary because as soon as she puts weight on the foot, the metatarsals are going to splay, and if it's too tight, it's going to restrict the mobility. Okay? So there's my anchors. The next thing I'm going to do from there, I'm going to apply my stirrups. Alright, so the stirrups is what decides whether it's an inversion or an eversion ankle sprain. So if I want to do inversion ankle sprain, so this is this way, these are the ligaments that have been damaged on the outside. I want to start medial, come around and pull up laterally. Alright, so I start on my anchor. I want the medial malleolus to be centered right in the middle of the tape. I come straight underneath the heel. I come up the outside. Again, lateral malleolus centered right in the middle of my tape. And there's my first stirrup. Right. From there I'm going to apply a second stirrup. And when I apply my second stirrup, I'm going to start just in front or just behind of the other one, of the first stirrup I put, which was straight down. I come down underneath. As I go under the heel, only one tape width thick. I'm going to come up and I'm going to finish the opposite side. So if I did front on the medial side, I'm going to finish back on the lateral side. Again, pulling up. Alright, so I'm creating a little fan. And then for my third one, I start with the other direction. So I start behind at the back on the medial side, and then I come to the front. From here, I now need to maintain dorsiflexion through the foot for the rest of the tape job. If I lose dorsiflexion, then my tape job will start to get really wrinkled. So this is where I'm going to re-anchor at the top. Teardrop, overlap by half. Every strip of tape I want to do should overlap by half. Alright? Once I get off my anchor, I'm going to start with my close down. When I get onto the close down, I want to start off of the middle, so this is where my heel and lace pad. I don't want my tape starting and stopping on my heel and lace pad. Alright, as I come down, my angle starts to change. Alright, so I start going up and then coming back and down, just so that I don't end up with big wrinkles in my tape. Okay, once I get a good close down, so almost all the way down the foot, I then want to do one coming off the foot anchor. Alright, and then depending on the size of the foot, you might need to do another one, so a second one coming off the foot anchor. Alright, so now my close down's finished. Now I move into my mini stirrups. Alright, so for my mini stirrups, all I'm looking to do is just close off the foot. Okay? So I go from side to side, closing off the foot. I want to make sure that I have full coverage of tape on the foot now. Okay, so when I'm starting my heel locks, I need to make sure that my whole foot is nicely covered with tape. Okay, so this is where I want to start. So these two strips I'm going to do right now are the hardest strip. This is where things are going to go wrong for you, okay? You're going to start here. Doesn't matter if you start medial or lateral, but you're going to start, I always like to start on the medial malleolus or lateral malleolus. You come straight up off of it. Alright, so the tape gets applied on the medial malleolus. You're going to come straight up like you're going up towards the ceiling. The tape loops around, underneath. You go diagonally up the outside of the heel, and you come right back up onto the inside here. Alright, so when you finish, the tape should be nice and parallel, coming back up here again, okay? Do the other side. Starting here, straight up towards the ceiling, around. I come diagonally up the side of the heel, around, and I finish up parallel. Okay, so there's my, those are heel locks, and then from there I'm going to do two more. So that's 1/2 heel lock done on each side. So then I go up again. That's one full heel lock. That's one full heel lock. Alright? So from there, I now want to look. So my tape job is pretty well completed. Okay, so that's all the functional strips of the tape job. From there I want to look and I want to identify any areas where I've got windows, shadows. Okay, so a window is where there is no tape. The shadow is where there is just one layer of tape. Right? And then I want to cover those up. So all I'm going to do, I'm just going to take my tape around. I'm just closing it off. The key with this, the important thing to remember is that just applying these strips that I'm doing right now is not enough. Alright, so these guys are just the first step in properly closing this off. Alright, then I'm going to redo this around here. So I close the tops of that tape down. Okay, now it's a fully closed strip. So now these guys aren't going to peel away on me. And the only other area I got to do is the foot. Just the anchor on the foot. And just remembering again, splay it out. And there's my tape job. Okay?